Hello and welcome back to the Puncher's Chance podcast, and welcome to the preview show where we look at everything coming up in the next week in boxing, including previewing the weekend's fights and our predictions on the Boxing News app. Lots of fights this weekend. William Zepeda, Tevin Farmer, Sandy Ryan versus Mikaela Mayer. It's Mikaela Mayer as the home fighter, I suppose, in New York, so I should give her the credit. She obviously won the first fight.
Correct.
No question marks.
Some people say, that was controversial, wasn't it? The entire build-up to that fight night. Watching it back on, because it was in the middle of the night for us in the UK, watching it back, you're thinking, what am I reading? What am I seeing on Twitter? Getting attacked with paint. Was it an inside job? Was it Mayer's team potentially doing something to Ryan? Who knows? But they run it back on Saturday. Is it Saturday or Friday night now?
Saturday night.
Saturday night, Sunday morning for us. And we got a certain Welsh girl that's going to be very interested in the outcome of this fight in Lauren Price. He looked incredibly impressive against Tasha Jonas last time out. But no,
three of us in this room that are interested in the outcome of that fight.
Yeah.
I want to see who wins that one so that we can see who Lauren Price will fight in the next fight.
In Cardiff as well, hopefully. But no, it's a great fight. The first fight, I think, you look at female fights of the year last year, Taylor Serrano 2 was definitely number one for me, but this one came a very close second. And,
definitely.
It should deliver again because we thought the first one was a bit personal. This one's a lot more personal, especially what happened before the fight on fight night as she's walking to Madison Square Gardens. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Again, someone chuck paint at you before you walking, I think she was, to the arena as well, because obviously the hotels and all in New York are quite close together to the arena. But yeah, it should be interesting. The build up to this fight week, it's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, it will be a good fight because it was a good fight last time and they're quite well matched. It was a close fight last time. A lot of people had it kind of either way. One of those ones you can't call a robbery, but the other fighter can feel hard done by it. And like you say, we're seeing it again pretty soon after. Main event in Vegas this time rather than New York. Should be good.
Do you think we'll see any more fight week antics?
I think from Ryan's point of view, yes, but I don't think Ryan will go down to that level of potentially chucking paint over.
No, she won't.
But allegedly, the Mayer's team did something. I'm not too sure why they did it. Definitely played on her mind, though. Imagine you're walking out of your hotel room, going into potentially the biggest fight of your career, and someone just walks up to you and chucks paint over you, and you don't know what it is, firstly, what they've chucked over you, and you still got to fight one of the toughest fights of your career.
Yeah, it's difficult.
How she still did it, and she had the courage to still step in that ring. You have to take your hat off to her because it was unbelievable.
I think they definitely could have had the right after that point to just go, we're not fighting tonight. But it was a really close fight. I had Mayer winning. What did you two?
I had Mayer winning. But it was like we said, it was a close fight.
I can't remember if I'm completely honest. I'm going to say I had Mayer winning because I probably did, but I don't know.
But like we've all said, it was one of those fights where you watched it for 20 minutes and you're like, yeah, let's have another 20 minutes of that, please. And you want more, and we get to see it again on Saturday night in Vegas, which is very exciting. Fair play.
A main event in the card, which is, you don't always see with the female fights. There is Brian Norman Jr. fighting on the undercard for that one for the WBO welterweight, his first world title fight. An exciting division, the likes of Boots Ennis in there. That could be a fight for him in the future if he gets through this one. I don't know too much about his opponent in Derek Cuevas, but it's the kind you hope that he gets through that because it's exciting to see big names win world titles and then set up bigger fights like the Boots fight, which I think would be a really good fight.
It's a stacked division as well, especially in terms of American fighters.
Yes, it is.
With Boots, Ryan Garcia, and others. But first world title shot, big fight, obviously you need to and will want to impress. But it's a really good card, to be fair. I'm hoping I'll be able to stay up and watch it Saturday night because we've got an early start on Sunday for the top tier show. But
yeah, I'm sure it'll be one worth staying up for, if nothing else. And then, even if that's not enough for you, you've got Tevin Farmer, William Zepeda, which was obviously a draw last time out. A really close fight. Zepeda was on such hot form, and you're thinking, oh wait, no, Zepeda got the decision, didn't he?
Yeah, Zepeda got split.
Probably should have been a draw, or at best.
Let's be honest, Farmer pushed him all the way, didn't he?
It was a really close fight.
Really close fight, and fourth round knockdown, unbelievable. And we talk. How many times have we said that we would love a quiet weekend? I think we had that last weekend, didn't we? In a sense of there wasn't much on. But my God, when we say that, then you look at the following weekend, you're like, right, we've got one Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with top tier. It's like you can't. I keep on saying it, you have to have a full-time job to watch boxing. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
And
there is a lot on at the moment.
that was the first fight, I want to say, in Riyadh, wasn't it, on that incredible Latino night? So hopefully that delivers again, because it's a weekend of rematches. And if the first fight was as close and as good as what it was, we should be in for another treat with that fight on Saturday night. And it's the sort of night where you're looking at it and you're thinking, right, do I put on Sandy Ryan, Mikaela Mayer, or do I, split screen and have one on the TV and one on the laptop maybe? Who knows? But yeah, looking forward to it. Fair play.
What do you think this fight's going to be like? Obviously, Zepeda's been tested, probably the toughest, closest fight of his career. He was on real hot form, running stoppages. Is this going to be are we going to see a better, are we going to see a more nervous? What kind of Zepeda do you think turns up?
A better version, I think. Probably.
Do you think he wins this one more comfortably then?
It's difficult now, but
Is it Mexico?
he's obviously going to be more prepared now, and he spent 12 rounds there. I don't think many people expected Tevin Farmer to cause him quite as many issues as he did in that fight, and it was really close. He won there by a split decision, and it's a round either way, like with the knockdown as well. But it'd be another very close fight, but it's exactly what you want to see in terms of title fights and world title fights especially. And yeah, it's definitely going to be a very interesting one to watch, and again, could go either way, but I probably would edge towards Zepeda still keeping his unbeaten record.
Same, and I think it does make you worry though for the Shakur Stevenson fight. Obviously, he's the WBC interim, so if he was to get a shot at the world title, it would likely be Shakur Stevenson, and you can't help but think
it's such a good division again, on it.
It is, and it would be a good fight because you just know Zepeda would keep coming forward, and that Shakur probably wouldn't be able to hurt him, and so he would just keep coming forward and pressuring, and whether or not he could break down that defense of Stevenson, which I don't imagine many people can, if anyone. So it would be an interesting fight to see. I'd be more than happy to see it, if not the Tank Davis fight for Shakur. I think this is the next best fight for him. If, and that is a big if, Zepeda gets through Tevin Farmer first.
Shakur Stevenson said that him and Tank is the biggest fight that can be made in boxing, I think he said.
It's just wrong though, isn't it?
In a boxing in America, I can agree with, but not in boxing in general.
No,
I don't think.
No, it's not. There's a lot bigger fights and better fights that.
But wouldn't you say
it is a great fight?
Davis has still got unfinished business from his last fight, though, hasn't he? So he wants to probably put that to bed, and that is one hell of a fight, innit? Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Davis, but not the biggest fight in boxing. Come on now.
No, it's not. It's not. It's definitely not. Another card we've got this weekend is it is a next gen card. This, isn't it? Or is it a full matchroom card with Pat Brown in Altrincham making his
more or less a
debut?
Next gen card, isn't it?
I think it might be one. I can't remember, but yeah. Pat Brown making his pro debut. You got Cameron Vuong, Jordan Flynn, European lightweight, which we'll obviously get onto. But we'll start with Pat Brown, 2024 Olympian. Maybe disappointing performance in the Olympics. Certainly there was a lot riding on him, a big expectation to him, but he's turning over pro now. Cruiserweight. It's going to be interesting, I think.
It was a frustrating Olympics for the whole of the British team, I think.
It was, yeah.
But was Lewis Richardson the only one to pick up a medal?
Yeah, bronze medal.
And obviously there was a lot of results that sort of...
Rosie Eccles was unlucky.
Eccles was one. There was a lot of frustration with some of the results, but Matchroom are putting a lot of stock behind Pat Brown, the way they sort of promoted him and give the thing of signing him, how they sort of released all that. There was a lot pushed behind him, so they obviously see him as a big future main eventer for them, and obviously being near a fighting city of Manchester, who got William Crawler as well as on the card. That's a great pairing, I think, for Matchroom. For them two together could headline shows for years to come in Manchester.
Yeah, there's not many people mind making their professional debut nowadays and main event in a card.
No, not really.
The pressure that comes with that is unbelievable, and it'll be interesting to see how he deals with that. But I want to say I put him down as my fighter to watch out for in 2025. And, you know, he's up against, how can I put it? He's up against a tough, durable opponent in Federico, but it should be, you just want to see him fight, because the only time I've caught my eyes on Pat Brown, the only fight I've seen of him was in that Olympics where he had that disappointment of just, you know, was very unlucky that night. But no, I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got. And it's another sort of fight. Like Ben said, you've got William Crawler up in Manchester, and it's someone to get excited about now. And I'm looking forward to it. And you talk about the promotion that they did for him. Everyone had the question mark of, oh, is this going to be Ben and Eubank fighting at Old Trafford? And then it's Pat Browning, like, oh my God, they're actually really investing a lot of time and money into him. And hopefully he can put on a show for us on Friday night.
And if he doesn't put on a show, I think a fight that almost certainly will is Cameron Von Jordan Flynn.
I didn't realise this for the European title.
Yeah, absolutely. So then in a fight's time, we'll see Gavin Gwynn as the European champ, right? After they get their rematch.
Agree, yeah.
But yeah, Cameron Vuong obviously coming off the back of that little bit.
Is this the third time now that they've said they're going to be fighting each other?
Yeah. They've both been injured once. It feels like these two have been going back and forth with each other for like the last 2 or 3 years.
Since we started this podcast, yeah.
And that's why it's going to be so good, because there's so much pent-up anger, hatred, excitement into this fight. Title on the line.
Yeah.
Great fight.
You know it's good as well when they do a gloves are off sort of video. They know that there's a massive interest in this fight, and if you haven't watched it, go and watch it, because they do go back and forth. I was going to say,
funny. In that face-to-face interview, there's a very like weird sense of calm between the two of them. They're like very confident.
Yeah,
like they were going back and forth with each other, but it weren't
like it was controlled.
Like aggression. It was like, I just know that I'm winning, but it come from either side. So it'd be very interesting to see what happens Saturday night or Friday night, sorry, and who comes out on top between the two of them. Because it's a massive fight for both.
That's what you want though in professional boxing. You want to have the back and forth, but when you get in that ring, you can't be hot-headed, can you?
No, you can't.
You have to stick to what you know and get the job done no matter what. You can't be going in swinging. But yeah, if Cameron Vuong has got that stain on his career now with that win over Gavin Gwynn, where you're thinking, everyone says he didn't win that fight. Everyone I've spoken to said Gavin Gwynn deserved to get his arm raised that night. But fair play for him for going in again against Jordan Flynn. In a way, is at the same level, really. You know, he hasn't dropped down a level, I don't think. You know, I think Jordan Flynn's on the upward trajectory in his career, and it's just a path that they've both collided now, and it's the one who takes that next step, and it's the loser of this fight just takes that step below and remains a British or even English level. But it should be a great fight. The build-up's been great to it, and we've seen this build-up now 3 or 4, I think it's 3 times. Hopefully this time it's the last time we've had this sort of back and forth, and we can finally see them in the ring and going toe-to-toe with one another.
If we get a fight week pull out now, it would be heartbreak, won't it? It would be heartbreaking.
And what I've liked as well is Ben hasn't done his curse yet.
Yeah, he hasn't said it.
Which is good. So we're not going to say what he normally says, because it has jinxed it in the past.
It really has. And you said you don't want to just go out swinging, and that is true unless you're William Collar and Taylor Bevan, because between the two of them,
they just stop everyone, don't they?
Those
Taylor
two
Bevan's
boys
on this. I didn't even know Taylor Bevan was on this card.
That's shocking from you, by the way. That is shocking from you. Yeah, them two both can hit. They can both swing. I put both of them on my 2025 prospects to watch, and I stand by that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you do.
Oh, I'm not going to say. I'm not suddenly going to go. And now that Will Crawler's had one more knockout, I actually take back my statement and think he's not going to be that good. Like, of course he is.
They're brilliant to watch, so the pair of them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Matchroom they've got a lot of top prospects, but these two, you just know you're in for an entertaining couple of minutes watching them fight. And Crawler is just, there's no sense of messing about with him. As soon as he knows he's got someone hurt, he's going straight for the kill,
and he really goes for it. Like, there's no holding back.
But yeah, looking forward to watching the two of them again. I'd expect another 2 stoppage wins for the both of them, but yeah, overall, like I said, great card with some really interesting fights. The English title fight as well, Farnhill, I think it's his first defence of the title. He won on a split decision in his last fight for that one, I think. But yeah, great night of fights on a Friday night as well. It's nice as well.
Yeah, it definitely is. And if you're not all boxing out by the end of Friday and Saturday, Sunday top tier show. We're not going to talk about it too much because we'll be down there covering that one. So plenty of interviews from that to come. But if you've got a spare half hour, actually probably won't even take that long on Sunday night. Konstantin Ursu, Ethan James, the main event. Konstantin's special, scary. Ethan James is a quality operator in his own right that has all the hallmarks of an absolute banger.
It'd be my first time going to York Hall as well. So
absolutely in the York Hall as well. The idea of thinking that there's going to be a load of Konstantin's fans in the York Hall,
they make some noise, don't they?
It's going to be exciting because that venue is loud. Should be great. Should be a great night.
It's a Sunday afternoon as well, ain't it?
It is, yeah. It's all included on the DAZN subscription as well. We're not sponsored, but give them the plug as well. So if you're on there, check it out, and then afterwards, watch all of our interviews from the night as well. That all sounds like a plan. Into the predictions on the Boxing News app. Now they've only got 3 fights from the Pat Brown card and 3 fights from the Sandy Ryan Mikaela Mayer. So we're gonna do them both in the first time in podcast history where we do both of them. We'll start off with Sandy Ryan Mikaela Mayer, which I keep saying that way round. I don't know why. But I'm going to continue to do so. Bruce Carrington, Enrique Vivas, featherweight 10 rounder. We'll start with you, Ben.
Thank God you started with Ben. Mine hasn't loaded yet.
I've gone with Bruce Carrington by points.
I've gone with Bruce Carrington by points.
I'm agreeing with you, yes. Sorry, it wasn't loading. Yeah, Bruce Carrington by points.
Fair enough. Brian Norman Jr., Derek Cuevas, welterweight 12 rounder. I'm going to go for a Norman Jr. stoppage against the Cuban.
Norman Jr. points decision.
I've gone Norman Jr. stoppage as well.
Lovely stuff. Mikaela Mayer, Sandy Ryan. I nearly said Mikaela Ryan that time. I'm really desperate to say Sandy Ryan's name first. I don't know why. Welterweight 10 rounder for the world title, the WBO, I believe it is. What are you going for, Harry?
I thought she won the first fight, and I think she wins the second fight. Mayer by decision.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Mikaela Mayer. I've said I think she should still be undefeated in her career because the 2 defeats she got, I don't think she deserved to lose them, and I think she wins this one by decision again.
Well, I wouldn't be disappointed if Sandy Ryan did pull it off. It's going to be close. Because imagine how big that fight would be over here in Britain. Yeah. Sandy Ryan, Lauren Price, and I think...
I've gone for Sandy Ryan points decision.
I think we're more likely to get the fight in Cardiff if Sandy Ryan wins.
I think she's gonna have the bit between her teeth, Sandy Ryan, and I think she's gonna cause an upset on the night.
Majorly close, I think.
Oh yeah, massively. I think it will be. So we've got to submit that one, and then we've got to load up the next one. 131 to 40. What strange odds those are.
Yeah, I've had 101 to 20.
Love to see it. Pat Brown versus Grandoni. That card at the bottom. Reese Farnhill, Mark Dickinson. It is a super middleweight 10 rounder. I've just been. So Ben, it's up to you. What's your prediction?
Reese Farnhill decision to retain his belt.
What are you going for?
Same. Farnhill decision.
Yeah, see, I'm going to go for the same. So that was very interesting. Wow. Cameron Vong, Jordan Flynn, lightweight 10 rounder. More difficult one to call. What are you going for, Harry?
We're going to get split a bit, I think.
Cameron Vong decision.
Cameron Vong decision.
Jordan Flynn decision.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
Well done for being different. I like it.
And then the main event, Pat Brown versus Federico Javier Grandoni. Cruiserweight 8 rounder. Pat Brown, pro debut. He's going to make a statement. But it is an Argentinian, so it's going to be a points decision statement on my prediction. I think
he stops him.
I've gone stoppage as well. I think he needs to...
Silly people.
Come on, believe in the hype,
Silly
Sam.
People.
Believe in the hype.
I believe in the hype. I believe in the Argentinian
the amount
hype.
of backing they've put behind him, he's got to go out and do a proper job.
8 rounds as well, mine.
Yeah.
So
it was 8 rounds for Kasayev against an Argentinian.
10 rounds.
10 rounds even. There you go. And he did it. He's going to be...
I hope I don't have that message again.
I know absolutely nothing about
We're going to have Sam
this
Hill's theory of 2025 of never bet against an Argentinian being stopped.
Don't do it. I don't...
To be fair, I think I've taken a big risk going with Jordan Flynn because by the looks of it, not many people have. But
how active has he been, Jordan Flynn, do we know? How many times has he fought in like the last couple of...
I don't know, actually. I can't
remember the last fight he had.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was going to say, I don't remember the last time he...
We obviously remember Cameron Vong's last fight because everyone hasn't stopped talking about it.
His last fight, Jordan Flynn, was December last year, the York Hall, against Brian Myrena, who's someone we've seen before.
A win and a draw against Kane Baker. And I feel like Kane Baker's a very similar sort of fighter to Gavin Gwynn. Caused
Yeah.
Just keeps
wrong
coming
issues.
forward.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've just gone for it off.
You just wanted to be different, just be honest. Just
Just
let's
switch
make it interesting.
Fair enough. It's
if
good.
it goes right, it makes me look really good. As well.
It does, absolutely. I think that pretty much wraps it up for this week. We've said there's loads of boxing on, and we've managed to condense it down into about 21 minute or so. So we're keeping it nice and brief for you guys. So you can get on with your Thursday evenings. Enjoy. I don't know what's going to be happening on a Thursday
Premier
evening.
League darts you've got.
There you go. Is
European
that-
football's that all over now?
Yeah, international break.
Yeah, international break. That's
Don't
all
think there's
done.
anything interesting. Just enjoy your Thursday evenings, courtesy of the Puncher's Chance. When you're sat there chilling, think, we saved you 5 minutes. Thank us later. Follow us on socials, Twitter, all of that good stuff. TikTok's lots of great content on TikTok at the moment, so follow us on there as well. YouTube, Spotify if you prefer the audio episodes. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you all next week.
Puncher's Chance. Puncher's Chance podcast.